Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Macon-Bibb County Pre-Commission meeting, acting as a committee of the whole. Today is Tuesday, June the 7th, and the time is now 4 o'clock. I'd like to welcome everyone here today. We do have a lot of items on our agenda today. We also have a 4 o'clock committee of the whole meeting, a 5 o'clock budget hearing for any members of the communities that want to speak, and then we have a 6 o'clock regular commission meeting tonight. So we have a quorum here, and we're going to go ahead and begin the meeting as follows. Item number 3A is a new alcohol license for KK 2021 LLC, DBA Reliance Food at 3590 Napier Avenue. This business identification form provided by business and location is a grocery store. However, the location does not have the necessary requirements for retail space and other items. For that reason, legal will recommend denial of this particular license. We get a motion for that denial to approve. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Can we get a second? Second by Commissioner Howell. Any discussion?
Are they all new, or are they some of them renewing?
It will, if it's a new business, it will say that. Otherwise, you can assume that is a business that had already been existing, but there's a change of ownership.
Wait a minute. You know, is it a new business or just a?
This right here is a.
First one is a
new. These are new ownership, not a new business.
These are new?
Right.
Okay.
We get to a new business, I'll let you know. Okay. Thanks for that question. We do have a motion and second. There's no further discussion. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. We have three more right behind that, and we'll also approve the minutes in just a moment. The item B is a new alcohol beverage license for Joy's Pick 2017, DBA Joy's Pick at 3691 Spencer Circle. This business identification form provided states that the business location is a food mart. However, it fails to offer the food items required to qualify as a food mart pursuant to a code and also an inspection done in a house. The reason for that, Vice Mart means that our legal is recommended denial on this action. Is that correct, Attorney?
That is correct.
Okay. So we do have a motion and a recommendation for denial. Do we get a motion on that behalf? Got a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark, a second by Commissioner Howell. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Thank you. That motion carries. Item C is a new alcohol beverage license for JF Food and Gas Sitco, located at 1803 Pioneer Avenue, Macon, Georgia. This is a store that you're familiar with next to the Sears Academy, located at 1870 Pioneer Avenue. That particular store is close to the school, has not held a business license for the last several years. Therefore, they are not grandfathered in once the school is there, and that's the reason for the denial. Therefore, the recommendation from legal is to denial. Do we have a motion to approve that denial? Motion by Commissioner Pro Tem Clark, second by Commissioner Wilder. Any discussion regarding this item? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries as well. Item D is a new alcohol beverage license for H2O Enterprises, Stop Shop located at 3290 Pioneer Avenue, Macon, Georgia. Legal also recommends denial on that, and I'll ask from Attorney Howard to hear the basis for that denial.
Claimed to be a food mart, does not have gas pumps, and it is in fact a Vice Mart as confirmed by the Code Enforcement Department. And Vice Marts, there's a moratorium on new Vice Marts in Macon-Bibb County. Therefore, my recommendation is denial.
Thank you. That is the recommendation for legal. Do we have a motion? Motion by Commissioner Wynn. Do we have a second? Second by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Thank you. That motion carries to be sent to consent agenda. Item E is a new alcohol beverage license from Myron Winery, located at 2351 Hubbard Road, Building C, Macon, Georgia. It meets all the necessary qualifications that you've got listed there. Do we have a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Howard. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Wilder. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item F is a new alcohol beverage license for Culinary South LLC, DBA Pearl, located at 470 F First Street, Macon, Georgia 31201, directly across from the City Hall. This is distilled spirits, wine, and malt consumed. This is a new business. All the necessary legal obligations have been met, including a certificate of good standing signed and attached. We have a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Wynn. Do we get a second? Second by Commissioner Wilder. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries, will be sent to consent agenda. Item G is a new alcohol beverage license for Bibb Distribution Company located at 6401 Hawkinsville Road, Macon, Georgia. This is a new type of license for an existing business of Bibb Distributing there as well. They met all the legal and necessary qualifications, include the certificate of good standing signed and attached, and legal recommends approval. Do we get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Howell, second by Commissioner Wilder, or vice versa. Any questions in that regard? Commissioner Wynn, do you have a question?
Yes, sir. Are they going to serve alcohol there?
No, sir. No, ma'am. It's a new license
To
to do a distillery.
just, okay, but it's not a place where people go have a drink now.
No. Right. Any other questions? Seeing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries, will be sent to consent agenda. Item H is a new alcohol beverage license for King's Food Mart. King's Food Mart located at 2765 Houston Avenue, Macon, Georgia. I've asked for the commission to consider tabling that item until additional information become relevant, and we can revisit that. We got a motion to table by Commissioner Clark. Can we get a second by Commissioner Jones? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be placed on the table. We'll move on to item I. A new alcohol beverage license for Sheesh Narahan, DBA Northside Sitco, located at 1592 Forest Hill Road, Macon, Georgia 3120. That is met all the legal qualifications. They also completed their certificate of good standing that's attached, and legal recommends approval. Can I get a motion to approve? Got a motion by Commissioner Wynn. Can we get a second? Second by Commissioner Howell. Any discussion regarding this item? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item J is a new alcohol beverage license for 2M Forsyth, DBA Road Trip, located at 4845 Omuggy East Boulevard, Macon, Georgia. You have a picture of that existing business there. This is a new alcohol beverage license. The owner is actually operating this as well, and they meet all the legal qualifications. Do we have a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Wynn. Can we get a second? Second by Commissioner Jones. Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item K is a new alcohol beverage license for Johnny's New York Pizza, located at 6255 Zebulon Road, Suite 200, Macon, Georgia 31210. Meets all the legal and statutory obligations. There's a lease there, no relation, new ownership, and existing shopping center. Legal recommends approval. We get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Wynn, second by Commissioner Wilder. Any further questions? Seeing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item L is a new alcohol beverage license for the Library Tap House and Kitchen LLC, located at 1530 Mercer University Drive, Macon, Georgia. This is a new business in an existing location right across the from Mercer University campus behind Amici. Meets all the statutory and legal qualifications, and legal recommends approval. Can we get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Wynn. Can we get a second? Second by Commissioner Wilder. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion passes and we sent to consent agenda. Item M is a new alcohol beverage license for JEK 2022 at JEK Food Mart, located at 3565 Pinona Avenue. You'll see a picture of that on your screen. Meets all the qualifications for a license. It has been inspected. They own their own business, and they have a certificate of good standing attached. Can we get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Wilder. We have a second? Second by Commissioner Jones. Any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item N is an item we previously brought up and needed some additional information. It's a new alcohol beverage license for Vista Bar and Lounge located at 3642 Napier Avenue, Macon, Georgia 31204. That building has been inspected by the Sheriff's Department, and further, the cameras was re-inspected by code enforcement. It also meets all the necessary stipulations, and the sheriff has signed off on that license. Do we have a motion to approve? A motion by Commissioner Jones. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Wilder. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. It's one nay for Commissioner Pro Tem Clark. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item O is a new alcohol beverage license for Z1 Express located at 6620 Columbus Road, Macon, Georgia. If you remember that we had this is a bifurcated store. We have a liquor store on one side, a separate business from Z1 convenience store on the other side. Z1 liquor store, we denied the renewal based on a moratorium because they failed to file the paperwork in a timely manner. This is a convenience store portion of that where they sell beer and wine, and it does meet the statutory requirement, and they met all necessary obligations on their license. So at this time, legal would be recommended for the convenience store part to allow them to be able to serve packaged beer and wine to go. Any questions regarding that item? Can we get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Wilder. Can we get a second? Second by Commissioner Howell. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item P is a new alcohol beverage license for AK Express located at 1091 Clinton Road, Macon, Georgia 31211. You have a picture of that. This is a not a new business, but a new ownership business. There's a lease in place that we appear to be valid, no relations. They met all legal and statutory reasons, and legal has recommended approval. We have a motion to approve that. Bronson? Who's it? Commissioner Bronson, need a second? No. Commissioner Jones? Okay. Commissioner Jones has got a motion. Do we have a second? Got a second by Commissioner Wilder, and Commissioner Bronson, you have a follow-up question.
No, I was just going to ask, how far is that from the nearest school and or if church?
Let's see, the engineering department did complete an affidavit which has that information attached therein.
I know the distance requirement has been met and meets the statutory and legal parameters for that. That's all I can be aware of.
Roger.
And it should have been included in your packet already.
Yeah, I don't have it, but we can move forward.
Sure. Any other questions?
No, sir.
Hearing no questions, we do have a motion and a second. Is that correct? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. Okay, Bronson would be a nay. Thank you very much. That motion passes. Thank you very much. We have several items for acceptance of grants. Thank you, Attorney Howard. Grants today that we traditionally get. All these are similarly related, but I'll go through those one at a time. The first item is a resolution authorizing acceptance of council accountability courts, Judges State Court of Grant Awards from State of Georgia, Criminal Justice Coordinating Council for fiscal year 2023 in an amount of $128,763 with matching funds in an amount of $17,000 payable in kind existing employee salaries. That is my motion. Can I get a second? Second by Commissioner Wynn. Any questions regarding this grant? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item B is a resolution authorizing acceptance of the same, the State of Georgia Criminal Justice Coordinating Council 2023 for $149,093 with matching funds in the amount of $20,331 payable in kind as existing employee salaries awarded to Macon Judicial Circuit Veterans Court. Can I get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Wynn. Can we get a second? Second by Commissioner Jones. Any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. I'm sorry, Mr. Howard, do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question. I want to back up to something if I can. On the item P, I'm doing a quick search and I can't find that address. Are we sure that address is right, council?
1091.
1091 Clinton Road.
That's what's on the application. I'm not sure the exact P.O. box address on that, but I do that in stores there because we went by there.
Is it the one in the fork right there?
The 1094 Clinton Road, there's the, right there. You can tell right there, it's on the, in the triangle there.
And it's not, it's not show, that address is not showing up as a valid address. It's just my,
That would
It's on the
be,
Google Maps that she has.
looking at Q Public, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No problem. It's certainly a valid, business, address that we visited.
Make it, I don't guess it's a real problem. I just want to make sure that we got a valid address.
sometimes they use one address on Q Public, and there are multiple addresses which are actually at one structure.
Well, my Q Public shows that those addresses start about 1600 on Clinton. That's why I'm
And that
asking.
might be a scrivener's error. It may be 1011 Clinton Road.
I just want to make sure we get the right address.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not a big deal.
We'll double check that. I don't think it matters as far as legality of this particular business license, but we'll make sure we verify that veracity. Thank you, Commissioner Howell, for bringing that to our attention. We did have a motion and second, I believe, on item B. Is that correct? Okay, got a motion and second. If there's no further questions on that item, we'll call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item C is another grant resolution similar to the one before, to Council Accountability Courts, and this is for the Felony Drug Court Program, $202,568,000 with a match in existing employee salaries of $27,623. We get a motion to approve? Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Can we get a second? Second by Commissioner Jones. Any discussion regarding that grant? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Item D is a resolution authorizing a similar grant, Council Accountability Courts, for the Circuit Court Mental Health Court Program for $220,529 with a match of $30,072 payable in kind existing employee salaries awarded to Macon Judicial Circuit. We get a motion to approve? Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Can we get a second? Second by Commissioner Wilder. Any questions regarding that grant? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item 5A, we're getting into streets and parks. Item 5A is a resolution approving a petition for installation of 8 streetlights on Regina Drive pursuant to Article 10, Chapter 29, the code be paid from the Facilities Management Budget Services Government electricity line item. You get a motion to approve? Who is that? Commissioner Bronson? Okay. Commissioner Howell? I just heard it. I figured Howell would be doing. We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Bronson, Commissioner Howell. Any questions regarding this item? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item B is an ordinance to dedicate the portion of 2nd Street running between Eisenhower Parkway and Houston Avenue in honor of Pastor Eddie D. Smith Sr. in recognition of his many years to service and leadership to the Macon-Bibb community, appropriation of an amount of not to exceed $500 from the general fund balance to the Facilities Management Department. That motion is sponsored by Commissioner Paul Bronson. Commissioner Bronson, would you like to make that motion? Got a motion by Commissioner Bronson. We get a second? Second by Commissioner Howell. Commissioner Bronson, would you like to add anything else on that, sir?
I think this is a great opportunity for us to acknowledge those religious leaders that have been in the community. Pastor Smith has been in the community now for over 49 plus years, and encouraging creative change and inspiration and transformation amongst our young people. So I definitely thank you guys for approving this, and I look forward to awarding him this acknowledgement in due time.
Thank you, Commissioner Bronson. Are we going to have anyone here at 6 o'clock to do any kind of formal on this, or are we going to do it at a later date? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bronson. We do have a motion and second. If there are no further questions, we'll take a vote. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item C is a resolution to approve the installation and dedication of a donated park bench and signage in memory of Malinday Fallen Jones. That's my motion. Can I get a second? Second by Commissioner Howell. And if you don't mind, we'll have our attorney just give you a little bit more brief information on that.
Good evening, Commissioners. Mayor Miller. My name is Adriana Beavers. I'm an Assistant County Attorney for Macon-Bibb County. The Parks Department, Michael Glisson, the director there, was contacted by the family of Malindy Falling Jones about installing and dedicating a bench and a plaque in her honor. Miss Falling Jones passed away at the age of 49 this past April after a battle with cancer. She was a nurse practitioner in the Central Georgia area, and she loved Washington Square Park. So the family has asked that a plaque dedicated to her memory be installed on a bench there. They have agreed to pay the amount necessary to purchase the bench and the plaque. Miss Falling Jones, in addition to her career as a nurse practitioner, was an accomplished author and left behind a devoted husband and three beloved daughters. So her family wanted to honor that memory and hope everyone can enjoy the park as much as she did.
Thank you, Ms. Beavers. We do have a motion and second. Any further questions for our attorney? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. Will be sent to consent agenda. Going to move on to 6, contracts and implementation or renewal. Item 6A is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a purchase agreement with North America Fire Equipment Company in the amount of $192,918 for the purchase of V-Force protective gear to be paid from SPLOST 2018 funds, public safety, fire upgrade. We have a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Bronson, second by Commissioner Wilder. Commissioner Watkins.
I wanted to revisit. I had my light on for the Section 5 Streets and Parks. I was curious if I could get an update on the request from the Robert Scott family concerning Anthony Road. I know I sent a couple emails on the issue. I think the legal department's written it up. I haven't been able to get clear on what needs to happen next.
Yeah, I think there's some additional information needed, and what I'll ask her to do, if that's okay, is to talk with you during the break on the necessary information, and we can revisit again at our commission meeting tonight.
We can revisit it at the commission meeting this evening.
If you still have questions on there, there's still some information that needs to be done on that haven't been met.
If my understanding was it needed a motion from this body was the last thing the
Ms.
family
Beavers,
and
you wanna
the attorney
come
did
up and get some
everything
information on
was
that?
available to turn in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this involves, when it first came to us, I thought we were doing the same thing we were doing for Commissioner Bronson and just doing the street dedication and putting the signage and all that. This appears to be something more in depth where you have to get a petition signed by all those affected by there, which is a lot more than the few that have come forward on the petition, but also involves changing the 911 addresses as well as the post office addresses for all those folks. And a hearing would be necessary to do that. With all those steps and being something different than we've been doing, I did not add that item to the agenda now, because I still think there's some work to be done on that.
And
But-
I guess for clarity, I need to know what's the first step, because I was under the impression that the next step was the public hearing, and then all of those things happen. So
The resolution, so this is a request to rename a portion of Anthony Road. The resolution for the proposed renaming has been drafted. We would need to see about scheduling a public hearing, which needs to take place once. It'll need to be set with sufficient time so that notice can be mailed to each of the property owners along the portion of Anthony Road that is to be affected, as well as to be published in the Telegraph.
So I guess hopefully we can get a public hearing. There's nothing, the mayor can schedule a public hearing when he wants to.
The scheduling of a public hearing would be up to the administration as a policy
Right.
decision in the
Thank you.
scheduling.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to be added a co-sponsor to 6A,
6A, okay.
please,
The
sir.
fire,
Thank you.
Commissioner Tillman?
Yeah, I remember doing the research on that Anthony Road. Greg Turner brought me the petition. I don't know if it was Michael or somebody, but we actually did the research. He had the petitions signed a while back, and I don't remember what happened, but y'all may need to look it up. But I thought we did the research, and it was a reason it was named after whoever Mr. Anthony was. But I remember about, I don't know, it could have been a year or so. But Greg Turner is the one that first brought me that petition. So I'm just interested in, I'm hearing it. Y'all was talking about doing a hearing. But I actually brought that to the attorney's office. And y'all talked to Greg Turner. He actually came down here. And so I don't know if the commission is dealing with somebody different or we've done something different. But I sent him out over a year ago to get the petitions. And I think he actually did it. So I don't know what else is going on with that. But I do. No, I remember working on it.
Thank you, Commissioner. We do have a motion and a second on item 6A. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item B is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Mail Sort Macon, Inc. for approximately $225,000 annually to outsource mail service for Macon-Bibb County. That's my motion. Can I get a second? Second by Commissioner Jones. Any questions regarding that item? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item C is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with DISYS Solutions in amount of $106,019.42 for the purchase of Meraki MX75 security appliances and associated licenses and support for IT departments. That's my motion. Can I get a second? Got a second by Commissioner Jones. Any discussion or questions regarding that item? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item D is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a master service agreement with Terracon Consultants, Inc. for the performance of environmental testing and inspection services. As my motion, can I get a second? Second by Commissioner Howell. Any questions regarding that item? This is all the asbestos tests that we have for all of our buildings. So this particular company changed their name to Terracon, and we have a new contract with them to inspect all those. They do all asbestos testing for Macon. Thank you for that. We have a motion and a second. If there's no further questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item E is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a professional services agreement with Geotechnical Environmental Consultants, aka a Terragon company, in the amount of $64,405 for inspection services for the Macon City Auditorium renovation project to be paid from the SPLOST fund. This became necessary to do that inspection over there prior to doing all the work at the auditorium. This is a separate contract with this company, and we previously asked for this, and this is the billing for that. Commissioner Bronson, you have a question?
Just out of curiosity, out of all the businesses that we have contracted out with, how many of these businesses, one, have been bidded out to minority-owned businesses? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, that's not something I can just tell you. I mean, we post a lot of that, go through small business stuff that we do, and all that information is compiled, and everybody has an opportunity to bid on those. But on just pulling out of my hat, I can't get the information. You certainly can request that, and we can try to get that information for you.
Cool.
That's one of the reasons we've been doing all the information we can to try to document how the awards of contracts and make sure that everybody completes all the paperwork necessary so we can give credit where it's supposed to go.
Okay.
But as far as this right here, it's a specialty business. I'm not aware of any minority business on there.
Ran through Dr. Sheree Stevens, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Not doctor, but Sheree Stevens, yes.
My bad.
No problem.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Commissioner Wynn, did you have a question?
Yeah, I do. On that one, as you did in the last one, you give a little explanation of what they're inspecting over there,
The
please?
same company, they do asbestos, lead paint, et cetera, all the environmental testing that we have. So they'll be doing the same thing. They've already completed the work, actually, I believe, over at the auditorium, and they began that process. Thank you. We do have, okay, I need a motion for approval. Motion by Commissioner Bronson, second by Commissioner Howell. Any further questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item F is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Old Post Real Estate for the lease of parking lot at 473 Hawthorne Street for use by the Bibb County Department of Family and Children's Services. We rent some spaces over there, that's correct? Let's give us a little background information to refresh our memory on that. I think we narrowed down the spots that we're using over there.
Yes, sir. The county has leased, for the benefit of the Department of Family and Children Services, certain spaces at 473 Hawthorne Street. The original lease is set to end June 30th. They are wishing to continue parking in those spaces. However, this is a reduction in the amount of spaces needed. I believe they are reducing their usage down to 20 spaces at a rate of $35 per space.
Okay, that's my motion. Can I get a second? Second by Commissioner Bronson. Any further questions? Seeing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Next item, G. And before we get to that, I know the sheriff is here to, and you have somebody else with your department here with you? Okay. We have some representatives from the sheriff's department that can answer any questions regarding this item. It's a item that needs to be, it's a renewal, but I want to go back to the approval of minutes. Everyone had a copy of the minutes before. It's attached to the documents. I want to make sure we get that before we move forward. I get a motion for the approval of the minutes. Got a motion by Commissioner Howell, second by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Any discussion regarding those items? Hear no discussion. All those in favor of the approval of the minutes, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. Thank you very much. We're going to move on to item G, which is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Correct Health Bibb LLC in the base amount of approximately $4,615,273.39, payable from the Sheriff's Office correction budget, medical services and mental health service line items to provide for medical and mental health services for inmates for the Bibb County Sheriff's Office from July 1st, 2022 through June the 30th, 2023. And before we take a vote on that, will you have someone come forward just to tell us a little bit more about that, Sheriff, if you don't mind? And mainly just the process of this was posted, I assume, for an RFP. Several people applied for it. You went through our normal process, and this group was selected for the renewal.
That's right. Basically, this is just a renewal for both physical health and mental health services for the inmates in the jail. This year, we haven't done an RFP for a number of years for medical services, so we thought it best to do an RFP this year. We put out solicitations for bid. We had several companies come in and look, but we only had two that actually put in proposals, and one of those was Correct Health. After a review of the proposals, Correct Health came in as the best fit. They came in a little less cost than the other company. Plus, we have having a relationship with Correct Health, so it's basically a re-up of the contract, and it's a contract we do every year, and it's budgeted money that we have each year.
Thanks, Sheriff Davis. Commissioner Watkins, you have a question?
I'd heard a rumor, like if a prisoner gets hurt in jail and they need to access medical services, do they access those services free, or is there a cost related to them?
If they are emergency, if they are have a sickness or an illness, I think there's a nominal charge. But if they are injured or have some kind of serious injury, then they're treated free of charge. We sometimes have to put a cost. I think it's like $4 or $5, because you have people that every day they would be calling medical, every day they would be having some type of issue. But if it is a serious situation and they need ongoing medical care, say it's a diabetic or someone has heart trouble or anything like that, and they're getting care every day, that's of no charge.
So a inmate that needs a prescription, is that prescription at no charge, or is there a nominal fee associated with?
There may be a nominal fee associated with the initial visit, but the prescriptions or any follow-on medical treatment is all covered under this contract.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Wynn, do you have a follow-up?
I have a comment, not a question, because I know some people haven't seen you speak on this on the news, but people need to know that this is required, that you have to provide medical, physical, and mental health care and dental care while they're in your custody. Is that correct?
That is correct. That's just one of the duties of running the jail, whether it's a prison or a jail. We have to, the first duty of running a jail is make sure that they stay in jail, and then the second duty is to make sure that they're taken care of, both with their physical health and then mental health, because that's a real issue for us now, and even nutrition. So all of those things are covered, and it's both a legal duty plus a moral duty for us to make sure that the people under our charge are taken care of.
Thank you. Just want to make sure people knew that.
All right,
Thank you, Commissioner Wynn. Commissioner Tillman?
Just on a personal note, talked to you on the phone, hadn't really seen you much. How are you doing, and how's your health, sir? You're
Doing very
looking
well,
good.
thanks. Doing very well. Have good medicine and good doctors, and still have some treatments going on through the summer, but it's all working, and gaining a little weight, so I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I
Thank
saw you
for
gain a
asking.
pound or two.
Yeah, appreciate you asking. Thanks.
Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tillman. I do need a motion for this. We have a motion for approval. Got a motion by Commissioner Wilder. Can we get a second? Second by Commissioner Jones. Any further questions? Thank you, Ms. Roberts, for being here today as well. We do have a motion and a second, and if there's no further questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. Will be sent to consent agenda tonight. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much, and I want to thank Kim and her team, finances, and the folks. We held them to the fire on the contract to make sure that we didn't go up too much, because healthcare costs are like everything else. They're going up exponentially. So we'll try to hold the costs as much as we can. So thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Ms. Roberts. We're going to move on to item 7A, which is an ordinance to authorize the appropriation of up to $500,000 in American Rescue Act Plan funds for the provisions of services to disproportionately impacted communities in the form of housing support, affordable housing to be granted to Macon Area Habitat for Humanity, Inc. This time I'll ask Ms. Ivy Hall to come forward to give us some explanation prior to getting a motion in a second on this. But I will say that we have sought out opportunities to leverage any funds that we have from the American Rescue funds. This is one of those opportunities where we've been cooperating with Macon Area Habitat to leverage those funds so we can make our money go a lot further to help the community, and this is one of those situations. So I want to ask Ms. Hall to give you some explanations on this proposal, and then we'll ask for your support.
Thank you, Mayor Miller, and thank you, Commissioners, for having me this evening. And I wanted to let you know that June is Homeownership Month, so this is the perfect time to consider this ordinance and this opportunity for funding. And we know through our work with Habitat affiliates across the country that increasing access to homeownership opportunities for families helps not only stabilize families, stabilize schools, neighborhoods, and entire communities. It also increases the long-term success of a neighborhood because the residents are taking pride in the home that they worked so hard to achieve, and protecting their investment in their entire neighborhood for the long term. So Macon Area Habitat has been presented with an opportunity for $500,000 to invest in development of future homeownership in our community if we receive a match from the American Rescue Plan funding for the same purpose. So the investment of $500,000 from Macon-Bibb County ARPA funds will essentially be doubled with this match from a local foundation. And we intend to use these funds to construct homes and develop our homeowners to be successful. So the funding will allow for the initial construction of 8 homes immediately, the additional construction of 6 homes in the near future, and more homes long term. As the funds continue to be reinvested, we will continue to build homes with this initial investment. So the construction of the initial 8 homes will be focused in Linmore Estates and Napier Heights. So this will be our first venture into the Napier Heights neighborhood. We will continue the work of the blight fight by building these homes on property that have been cleared of blight and have been tax delinquent. This investment will allow these properties to once again be owner-occupied and return them to the Macon-Bibb County tax rolls. We will continue our longstanding mission to offer low-income families access to homeownership opportunities. We have several homeowners approved and ready to go for these homes, and several more that are in the application process. We'll finalize the purchase of the property through the land bank, and our hope is to start construction this fall on the first set of homes. We have spoken to both the Macon-Bibb County attorneys and national attorneys just to confirm that this project and the long-term reinvestment of the funds are appropriate use of ARPA funds, and everything is good to go there. And just a reminder, we have worked on this type of project for over 35 years here in Macon-Bibb County, and I am so grateful for your support to allow us to continue this work and to serve even more families through this investment of funding.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. I think that one of the most important things I take out of it is because we're able to leverage these funds, the $500,000 contribution on behalf of Macon-Bibb County will actually result in at least 14 homes over a period of time, which is only about $35,000. I do realize there's another $500,000 coming from another source, but just to be able to leverage those funds, I think is a great accomplishment. We appreciate all that y'all continue to do.
Thank you.
Commissioner Clark, Pro Tem Clark, you got a
Yeah,
question?
two things. I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor, but also I'd like to hear a little bit about the reinvestment process. Like, what do we mean when we say this is going to be reinvestment? Is it a revolving loan program? I just would like to hear a little bit more about that.
Sure. So Habitat has always operated on the idea of reinvesting our mortgage payments. So we are not only a construction company, a nonprofit organization, but we are also a mortgage company. So we service mortgages for our homeowners. And as we've discussed in the past, when we receive home funding or neighborhood stabilization program funding, the mortgage principal payments that we collect come back to Macon-Bibb County. In the case with these funds, we would hold them within our organization and continue to reinvest those funds over the life of the mortgages of every house that is built. And this was the initial founding of Habitat as our way to be a self-sustaining organization as much as possible. But we know as the need for affordable housing increases, investments like this allow us to do even more.
Will the reinvestments per the grant application or the grant award letter, are those reinvestments required to be in those specific geographic areas you said, or just generally reinvested into Habitat's work in Macon-Bibb County?
So generally, at this point, it's generally reinvested into our work. Knowing that our mortgage payments or our mortgages are 20 years, our hope is that we will be able to work in several neighborhoods around Macon-Bibb County, and so by being able to reinvest the funds where it's needed most.
That's great. That's my hope too. That's why I asked. But I really appreciate all you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Commissioner Wynn?
Yes. First of all, I support Habitat for Humanity. I think it's a great program to get people back into homes. You have already worked in Livermore Estates, is that correct? And so
Yes.
now you're adding Napier Heights.
Correct.
Whereabouts on Napier Heights? Where?
So the initial focus will be on Dannenberg Avenue. We felt like it made sense. Our office is right there on Holt Avenue, almost on the corner of Holt and Dannenberg. So we're going to start right along Dannenberg, working with some of the tax delinquent property there. And then we'll continue to work over the next several years throughout Napier Heights.
Thank you. And I would like to co-sponsor that.
Thank you, Mr. Wynn. Mr. Jones?
Just to follow up, just curious on, so all your mortgages are 20-year mortgages?
Yes, ours are 20-year, 0% interest mortgages.
0% interest mortgage. Okay, that's interesting. So, and so the money you're getting is from the principal, but not the interest, right?
Correct.
And so that allows you to so when you say you're your own mortgage company, you're like the investor, or you are the bank, you are the lender.
We are the lender.
Okay.
Yes, so we have a certified staff. We follow all of the same banking rules as any other mortgage company.
Okay, interesting.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. At this time, I entertain a motion for approval. A motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Can we get a second? Second by Commissioner Bronson. Any further discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. We have one final item on the agenda tonight, which is item 7B. At this time, I'll let our counsel explain that to us and remind you of some previous conversations.
Yeah, this is a authorization to settle a car wreck case. I reported them to the commission a couple of weeks ago, and we settled it for the amount approved.
Okay. I would like to make a motion to approve that. Can we get a second? Got a second by Commissioner Wynn. Any further questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Do not. Commissioner Watkins, you have some?
It's related to 7A. I was curious, in full support of the program, but I was overall just remaining in our American Rescue Funds account. What is left? Because I thought we had already depleted it.
No, so we have about $2.2 million remaining after this $500,000 in the original American Rescue Plan.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if there's no need to go in executive session, we'll hereby stand adjourned into our 5 o'clock budget hearing. We'll get started in just a moment, but if you plan to speak for the budget hearing, please make sure you sign a form up below, up front. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Macon-Bibb County Public Hearing for the 2023 budget. Today is Tuesday, June the 7th, and the time is now 5:03. We'd like to welcome everyone here today, and we're going to begin with a short presentation just to reiterate things that we discussed at our last budget presentation. And if we have a couple of people that like to address the commission today, we'll take your name and order, and you still have time to sign up. So if we'll go ahead and begin our PowerPoint. Okay, a couple of things we want to remind you of. This is a proposed budget that the mayor presents each year, and this is an opportunity for the public to provide input. As you can tell on there, the fiscal year 2023 proposed budget is $198,207,000. More importantly, you have a tentative millage rate of 19.901. The reason it says tentative is because we'll wait till we get the tax digest in after all the appeals have been filed. As you'll recall, last year we reduced the millage rate from 20.331 to 19.901. As I anticipation this year that millage rate will more than likely be reduced again after we get all the appeals in and the tax value. Also keep in mind that Macon-Bibb County has absolutely done, this government has nothing to do with tax value assessments. That's by the Bibb County Tax Assessor's Office pursuant to Georgia state law that they're required to do. All of you, like myself, have received tax valuations that some provide some sticker shock to myself, as well as many people across the whole United States because of the situation we have this year with inflation, but also with house sales in areas. So it's substantially affecting everyone. I know our neighbors as well. So we'll move on to the next slide. As you can tell by this graph, the majority of our income is spent, as it should be, in the public safety area. Some $85 million of our entire budget that you saw before is spent on public safety, and you can see the design all the way throughout that process of how your money is spent. We'll move on to the next slide. Public safety continues to be a top issue, as we can all know by what we see on the news each and every day. I want to point out a few things that this budget does do. Is a continual annual incentive pay for the police and fire and 911 and other public safety areas. Also, the fire department this year moved 3 shifts in the fire department, which opened up a new fire training center as well as many positions there and extensive jail improvements and renovations that we made. Next. We wanted to do a 2-year estimate for everyone to see where we're at, not only last year but this year, because most of the folks on this, well, everyone here was just elected last year for whatever term they began. So we want to kind of give you some information of the fire, the sheriff, and the EMA, the totals for those, to show you that we've had a 1 increase of this year, including all the incentive pays, the salary increases, and other items of around $4 million this year, but a 2-year increase over the last 2 years of $10 million in the public safety budget. Next slide. The same thing can be said for beautification. Beautification has been pretty consistent. It's an area that we've been lacking of in Macon-Bibb County, and we've had some room for improvement in beautification through our budget. As you can tell, in 2021, we had a $2.4 million actual budget, and adopted in 2022 3.7, and proposed of 3.9 this year. This allows us to improve our interstate interchanges and other community gateways by increasing that 1-year increase of $164,000, but in the last 2 years, we've increased the beautification efforts in Macon-Bibb County of 1.497. Next slide. The budget for code enforcement. I hope many of you have seen all the demolitions that we've been able to do and blight remediations that we've been able to do over the last year, with some 170 something structures, including today, have been demolished, with 500 or more in the pipeline now. We understand from a recent situation we have, we're focusing those because they're centers of crime, as well as the information we had today. We had an incident last night at a store. We had a hearing today on a situation on Houston Avenue, and the court ordered a store there to be shut down for 30 days until a public hearing can be held. We've also filed 4 suits against hotel motel owners that have numerous hundreds and hundreds of 911 calls in the last several years. We've also passed new policy and regulations for moving abandoned vehicles and addressing public nuisances like illegal dumps. Recreation is always important. It's always an important part of our plan, our facilities plan, as well as a part of our budget. This year, we're happy to not only increase a 1-year increase with programming and employees for $620,000, but a 2-year increase over the last 2 years for $1.35 million. This allows us to get the proper staffing for programs and games, provide transportation for summer camps, and get education for certification. So you can see that our budget has grown from 2021, just shortly after the pandemic, up to a fiscal 2023 proposed budget of $6 million. Pedestrian safety is another hot topic that we've been discussing. I know Commissioner Lucas is probably watching right now. She's unable to be with us today, but pedestrian safety has been one of those items that's something that we have continued to discuss. We have a 1-year increase of about $400,000 on top of the $100,000 that we did last year. These are things like installing traffic calming devices and signage, installing and repairing street lights, repainting street lines, crosswalks, and other markings. And we're also going to get some recommendations from the Pedestrian Safety Review Board and make sure that those funds are dedicated for the use for the pedestrian safety. Economic development is key for any thriving community, and Bibb County is just one of those. We've been fortunate to announce a new expansion this last week of increased investment of $20 million into the former Brandon Williams facility. We thank our investment authority for all the efforts they've done there by creating jobs, but also investments over $150 million in the last year. We started out on a good year here this year, and we expect several more to come in the next 30 to 60 days. These funds are used to attract, retain industry and business, create centers of activities for local small businesses to open, redevelopment areas through target incentive and revitalization efforts, and create opportunity for new well-paying jobs. As you can see, from 2021, we had an increase from 2.2 million, 2022 to 3.2, and this budget includes another increase of 6.1 for economic development total. Health and Community Services, we want to let you know that these 2 items are something that we're maxing out this year. This you'll see some of the largest increase in matching funds for the transit. We realize that people need to go to work and they need to have an opportunity to get to jobs all across our community to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to get to work and to have a job and to have transportation to that job. Therefore, you'll also see our Mayor's Literacy Council that has been formulated with ARP money, that this commission as well as the school system has done a combined collaborative effort to do that. We're excited about those possibilities. We'll be opening up at least one new library at the Macon Mall area, revitalizing another area, and perhaps even adding an additional area there so we can increase literacy in our community. You can see a one-year increase of $1.1 million and a total two-year increase of $1.371 million. This is a reminder of the timeline that we've have here for the budget. May the 17th, proposed 2023 budget was presented. This has been telegraphed. It's also been placed online, and the copies have been made available for those who want to. We have our public hearing today, and that's what we're here for today. And on June the 21st, we'll have a hearing at 6 o'clock for a final vote from the commission. You can find the information regarding that at the website posted above. So this gives us an opportunity now at this time for the community to provide input, questions that they want to pose. It's not for a back and forth with the community, but it's your time and your opportunity to present information to the commissioners and the mayor as a whole, and it's our opportunity to listen to you for that information. I've got our clerk, and she's going to bring forth the names, those who have asked and have signed up to speak regarding the 2023 budget. Okay, at this time, I'd like to call up Miss Sarah Jones. Miss Jones, if you don't mind coming forth to the podium. If you'll speak into that microphone so everyone can hear you. And we'll give you 5 minutes to speak and address the commission. Any other time, just please let us know.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
What I want to address is I live at the corner of Lockwood and Lockwood Drive and Woodcrest Road. And I have a storm drain there, but it's ineffective because they came and resurfaced my street and they slung tar all in front of the drain, and the water will not reach the drain. It just sits in the street. So I just wanted to see if somebody can address that, if that can be addressed. I don't know if you need to add another drain or what, but the water just sits there.
Okay, when I ask you to do, our county manager is just right behind you to your right shoulder. If you could give him that information, the stormwater and the drains are something that's handled by the Macon Water Authority. We do have two representatives that serve them well on our board, and we'll be happy to pass that information over to them, but I'll make sure you get that information to County Manager Moffitt, and get her email address too so we can follow back up and make sure that they've spoken with her.
And one other thing, I heard you said that you all was going to redo some of the streets, like paint the signs. Like Eisenhower Parkway is really a big mess where they got all that tar in the cracks, and you can't hardly tell the real lines from the fake lines, like when you're driving on Eisenhower Parkway, and I feel like that's a danger.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you.
That is a state road, but I will tell you that we've been working in conjunction with the Georgia Department of Transportation, and they'll be doing some substantial work there in the next couple of years at their expense. The county will be providing some matching funds to that, but we do expect that to happen in the next 12 to 18 months on Eisenhower Parkway. But I do believe that as well as some sidewalks are in the future there. So thank you very much, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Next, we have Ms. Olin Hicks. I'm sorry, Mr. Olin Hicks. Mr. Hicks, thank you for being here today, and I know I'm not sure, I'm sorry I called you a Mrs., but I've been communicating with you by email, I think on a couple occasions, and I appreciate you.
We have been
And I didn't know whether to call you sir or ma'am because I wasn't sure of that.
That's
So
quite all right.
I appreciate you being here today. This is the 2023 budget. I think most of your questions involve the millage rate and the consolidation stuff, but we'll hear whatever that's on your mind today, and areas of concern that you have about this budget, and be happy to address it at a future meeting, but today we're here to hear from you.
Well, I really got interested in this a few years ago when my taxes went up about fourfold, and and I didn't really understand it. So I started digging in, trying to understand what all was going on. And so I get looking back, and I saw that, hey, we got a 14% increase this year. That's pretty large, it seems like to me. I'm not sure it's good or bad. But I go back and I look at when we consolidated the county, we were supposed to get a 20% reduction. And at least certainly some less spending. We started out with a baseline of $169 million. Today, the budget's 27% above that. And that's not counting the 20% reduction we were supposed to get. We didn't achieve the 20% reduction. We got to 14% one year. And then at the end of 2018, we were supposed to be at 135 million. Well, the actual was 156 million that year. So if you look at the baseline of where we were at in 2018, in 5 years, we're at a 27% higher budget than we were once the consolidation was supposed to be completed. And again, I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if y'all have metrics to define that, but pretty alarming. Hopefully my budget didn't go up 14% in my household this year because my income didn't, for sure. So that's my concern, my questions to ask folks, and keep digging in, trying to understand what's there.
Sir, I appreciate your emails. I hope I addressed some of those. It can be a little difficult for anyone to extend on how to calculate a millage rate, but do keep in mind, and I've said this before, is that what you've received so far is a tax assessment valuation. Has not been an increase at all decided. The county typically does not accept the tax value assessment increase in any dollars for the county as a whole. We roll back the millage rate. This commission makes that decision. We'll make that at a later date. Some ways to differentiate that, though, if you have a new build, perhaps you had a lot that was worth $10,000 and that lot, you build a house on there, we would accept that value because that's a new construction on there. Or if you've had a sale, an arm's length transaction of a house from one figure to the other, we typically would accept that. But this body of government here has not considered a millage rate yet. We do anticipate more than likely it will decrease. And we all know beginning next year we have a mandatory requirement of a decrease from the OLAS that was passed, which we believe will amount to a 35 to 40% reduction in the amount that someone would pay on their county taxes. So I'll be happy to talk offline on those questions I've answered for you already. I think a lot of those questions will be better directed at the tax assessor's office on those values, but keep in mind you do have a right to appeal, and anyone who questions their tax value increases needs to file an appeal. I would recommend that they file an appeal and go through that process so they know that. Unfortunately, like everyone else I mentioned in the outset, we have all seen substantial valuation increases, and typically means you made a good investment, but we also know that we've lived through some crises where we have a real estate a bubble that sometimes bursts, and it works both ways, going up and going down. So we have some uncertain times that we're dealing with because of things that we can't control as a body, but we are very mindful of that, and I'm sure this body of government and this commission will consider that when we get to the millage rate once we get the full digest in. So thank you for being here today. If you have any follow-up, feel free to reach out to me or any of the commissioners that you have, as well as the tax assessor.
Can I just make two more points?
Yes,
I think back in 2014 or so, our property tax was about 75 million, and now it's at 93 million. And I'm a little concerned, where's the revenue coming from to raise this budget, to keep on this spending rate?
It's from new construction for commercial, and downtown is a large part of it. So if you look at our budget, our industrial authority brings in a lot of money on new development. We've had a bunch of new companies come in, and that's the large part of that. Plus we have these pilot coming in, and the property downtown has increased substantially in values. And that's a large part of our tax digest too, thanks to the work that Newtown has done downtown Macon. So it's one of those things. I think after we look at next year under our OLAS and the work that we're going to do there, you'll see a substantial difference in a lot of places. But as we all know, costs have gone up too. Just like our employees costs have gone up. Small business employee costs have gone up. And I don't know about you, but my food prices and my gasoline prices have gone up a lot in my household as well. So certainly mindful of all that, and we appreciate that, and we're looking forward to educating people in this transparent process.
Yeah, my concern's on the spending side, though. That's really where it is,
Yes,
how fast it's escalating.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you very much, sir. I believe that's all we have for the budget as far as anybody signed up to speak. This is not an opportunity for the mayor or commissioners to ask questions at this time. This is an opportunity for the citizens of Macon-Bibb County to come and to voice their concerns. We do have a meeting on the 21st where we'll take a final approval unless there's other business that bring before other budget items that comes up before then. No more business today. We have a meeting at 6 o'clock. This meeting is hereby adjourned.